Our last presentation is from Enea. Michele Pellegrino is the responsible of a testing PV lab at Enea, and he has also a long experience in the PV sector, in particular working on the development and reviewing of standards. And by the way, both CMAT and Enea are partner of MedDesire project. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you.
10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Hello to everybody. Can you advise me when 2 or 3 minutes will remain? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, in my presentation, I would like to describe the kind of activity that a laboratory has to face when there are some constraints due to the requirement of standard prescriptions, and you have to face with limited budget or resources. I would like to introduce some requirement that a laboratory that is accredited has to comply with them, and in particular I want to highlight the most cost and demanding aspects of that requirements, and I want to show that resources have to be necessarily taken into account. And I want to prove that at the end you have to find a break-even point between resources and constraints, like the lever that is depicted on the bottom. And I want to present our experience of a laboratory that is not aimed to do business to business, but is mainly a scientific laboratory. And at the end, last but not least, I would like to demonstrate that quality doesn't necessarily imply the necessity to use a large amount of money. So the situation is that from one side you have constraints, that means requirements to specific prescription standards. There is the mission, what you want to do with your laboratory. You want to make a business, money, strategic position, or others. Of course, the activity is cost demanding, and it is also time consuming. From the other side, you have the resources that is money, personal, time, in one word, man hours. So what are the three scenarios? One is that you have a lot of resources, but they are too much. It works, that scenario, but it is not very effective. On the opposite, you have the other scenario that you don't have so much resources as you would need. In this case, your situation doesn't work, of course. This is better because you have reached the break-even point. And this is one that is our desire to every year, to reach every year. So quality systems, a laboratory to be qualified as a competent have to satisfy that standard. It is an international standard, is a general requirement for the competence of testing and calibration laboratories. In this standard, you find the different requirements. There are 15 management requirements and 10 technical requirements. So you have 25 requirements to fulfill. To give an example, is like that structure is the following, is only to show that in the structure there isn't a main phase. All phases are important, so these requirements are all important and all have to be fulfilled. This is the 15 management requirements, I want to talk only with that are more related to the cost, and there are 6. And in the other slide, there is the technical requirements. In this case, there are only 4 that are related to the cost and the money. Okay, resources. Resources, of course, are important at any time, but it is more important for quality, because quality has to be guaranteed at least for 1 year. So a minimum amount of resources has to be allotted. The scope of the activity is also important, because the break-even point depends on that kind of scope. If it is for business, only for business, or business and scientific activity. So the scope has to be well established. This is maybe an important part, because purchasing of services and supply is an upfront cost that you have to be faced. But the laboratory should have a policy and procedure for the selection and purchasing of services and supplies, because that can be affect the quality of a test and calibration. But it is also important to keep in mind that the purchasing of services and supplies can be somehow controlled by the laboratory, because it is your choice at the end. Improvement. This is another important point. The improvement is a process that cannot be stopped at any time. It's like when you prepare for a race and you have to prepare your physical body. You can stop to make the workout. Otherwise, you are not able to face the race. So quality improvement must be considered. It is a continuous process. Internal audits, that is an important activity, because using the internal audits, you have the exact situation of how your system is doing. Such audits should be carried out by trained and qualified personnel who are, if the resources does permit, should be independent of the activity to be audited. That means they are external to your organization. That means, of course, money, because you have to pay for that. And the cycle for internal auditing is normally completed in 1 year. In this case, I don't have any note, but I have some comments, but I don't want to disclose at that time. The management review is also important, because it is in that situation that you have to ask to the top management the necessary resources. In fact, the main note, this is the right time for establishing the break-even, because in this case you have to ask your top management that they have to provide, they have to free the resources in terms of money, personnel, and so on. Personnel, this is the technical requirement. The personnel are part of the laboratory, of course, and personnel has to be qualified. Okay, thank you. Has to be qualified, and usually the qualification is made by training programs and courses. Also, even if it is not well written or not officially written, external training, that means money, is recommended. Test and calibration methods. When you select a test, you have to also select the equipment and the method. In this case, you have a flexibility because you have to take into account that it is the test that you want to make. So the choice of the right equipment has to follow that feelings. It doesn't do that the more costly equipment is, the better. In some cases, you have to fit, the equipment has to fit with the method and the uncertainty of the method. Okay. Okay, let's, this is an example, for instance. It is the mechanical load test. You can do that test with a very sophisticated apparatus on or other kind of method. At the end, in this table, I show that the cheapest one, like hydraulic and use the weight, is better in terms of accuracy, respect using sophisticated automatic pneumatic equipment. So which is the best? Which one that complies better with the requirement of the method? I didn't enter on how the test is done, so I can. The only conclusion is that at the end, all depends on the uncertainty that you have estimated and the effort to reach it. Okay. Other cost is calibration, but even in that case, the calibration programs depend on you, the frequency, if the calibration is made outside the laboratory or is an internal process. Okay, so let's go to the conclusion. Okay, it is important to fulfill all the requirements, of course, and to upgrade because of the continuous improvement the laboratory of competence. But there is some flexibility to do that. Resources, of course, have to be provided in terms of personnel and money. And a break-even has to be established. And of course, the top management has to be involved in the process. And okay, our experience of a laboratory accredited has been presented. We are not a laboratory that want to create a business. So for who are interested, there is a stand over here. Will please visit that stand in the area 6, I suppose. So thank you.